I see there's a lot of people in the chat. I'm going to see if I can read these and say hello to everybody real quick. I had to pull out my cool glasses here. So we got Bill H is in the chat. What's up, Bill H? Will Fly, Joshua Marsh, PPG is in the chat. They've been chatting a lot in there. We got Nada Biz. What's up? What's up? And who else do we have in here? Boy, Travis. Travis DuPont is here. And of course, I probably said it wrong. Padre Brooke PPG, Mickey Alberto is in the house, and they're just pouring in. So make sure that you guys say hello in the chat if you want to ask a question tonight. Make sure that you tag Will Fly and Will Fly. Oh, Will Fly and hey Jim, what are you under on the computer right now?
Jim, Care PPG Simard.
Okay, Jim Care PPG or PG, Care PG, right?
PPG.
Care PPG.
Also, the Nada Biz, that is actually Ron Turan.
Say that one more time.
Or on somebody else's computer.
I didn't hear what you said, Jim. I'm sorry. What?
Oh, Nada Biz is actually Ron Turan. He's borrowing someone else's computer.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. This is season 3, episode 129. We have Travis Landry tonight. Before we get to him, though, we're going to introduce everybody on the panel. As always, we have our very beautiful Linda Anderson, our pom-pom cheerleader PR girl. Welcome to the show. Glad that you're here.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, chatters. All my viewers out there. Thank you for joining us on Monday night. The only place to be on Clear Prop TV. Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget, we are doing the audio. So after the show, then it's all of our listeners too. We got a lot of listeners out there. So we got our chatters, we got our listeners.
Oh, I don't know why do I say viewers?
No, viewers tonight. So that's great. But we also got our audio people.
I gotta start making notes before
I know, right?
The introduction thing comes on because I always, say something different, but that's okay. But thank you.
Welcome. So she's our cheerleader. She's also our PR girl. If you want to be on the show, make sure you get up with Linda Anderson. You can find her by going over to ParamountUSA.com.
That's right.
Well, welcome, Linda. Thank you for joining us. We also got Will Fly from WillFlyPPG.com. What's up, bud?
Hey, man. Good to be here. I look forward to Mondays.
Mondays are awesome.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? A lot of people really dread Mondays, but I don't. One of my favorite days.
I never thought about that, but yeah, you're right. I think it's the Monday mornings that people dread, but Monday nights is like, it's after 5.
Maybe, but I found that if you sleep through the Monday morning part, you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, that's right. You're not a morning guy, are you?
You wake up and it's afternoon, and so you skip all that nonsense.
Yeah. Any new videos that we need to go check out, Will?
Not yet. No, there's still some in the works, but you can still check out the ones that I've done at just look up Will Fly on YouTube or online at willflyppg.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Will, for joining us tonight. Definitely appreciate you. We also got Jim from Canada, the only guy I know that has maple syrup smelling money. What's up, buddy?
Things are going good. And yourself?
Not too bad. I see you got a hat. It says something on there. Can you tell us what that says?
That says Care Printing and Publishing. And that's my business. And I can print pretty much anything. If I can help you out, please contact me and I will do my best to do that.
How do we get up with you, bud?
Contact me through carepp.com. And I've got an email address on there. You can get a hold of me. Phone number is 306-946-4027. And for a special person like Steven, he can call me at 1-800-946-4027.
Awesome.
Extension 2.
Well, thank you, Jim. He helps us create these Paramotor calendars and gets us stickers and decals and stuff. So we definitely appreciate him with all the stuff that he does for us. Yeah, see down there, Linda, that's our 21 to 22 PPG calendar. So he helped us out with that. But it's not about me. It's not about everybody else here on the panel. And by the way, I'm Sean Simons, PPG Grandpa. It's about our guest tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking with Travis Landry. He's a paramotor pilot, but he's also a paramotor instructor over at Lone Star Paramotor. Welcome to the show, buddy. Good to see you. Did we lose you, bud?
Waiting to talk to me.
Are you there, Travis?
Right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you now.
Yeah, right when you started to say something, computer froze for a second.
Oh no, sorry about that.
All good.
So welcome to the show, Travis.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into paramotor.
Yeah. My name's Travis. I'm 35. I come from a welding background. So my family has a welding business doing stairs and handrails, stuff like that. And I just got lucky, I guess. I happen to know Ron Turan through my dad. Was friends with my dad and realized that he flew paramotors and never, it went for a while that I knew that he flew paramotors before I actually went and trained, and eventually went to unfortunately a funeral where I saw a paramotor on the back of his truck in person, and that was the end of it. Went to train shortly thereafter, and he wasn't getting rid of me, basically. So shortly after, started helping with the next class, just doing kiting and stuff that I had the ability to help with, and just started flying a whole bunch. Ended up doing a few hundred flights in my first year, and that's including having started in March. So I flew a whole bunch and realized that I wanted to be an instructor. So I got my PPG 3 and waited the year it took to go instructor, and basically been instructing ever since. So it's been a whole lot of fun.
Well, that's awesome. And so you've been instructing for 2 years, but flying for 3 years, yes?
That's right.
And after you started to fly, you said that for the first year before you were instructor, you helped other people get in the air and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was just a general helper at Lone Star, and helping people learn to kite was the most useful thing I think I did. But it's a whole lot of fun to watch somebody have no idea what a glider is and struggle with it, and then a couple days later they're doing super well and surprising themselves. So that's rewarding.
That is rewarding, definitely. So what's the best part of being an instructor?
Oh, the looks on their faces by a long shot. By a long shot. That meaning the looks on their faces and the emotions behind it, just seeing somebody's idea of flight turn into a reality, and the difference between it can be pretty heavy on some people. And
one of the things that we talked about before the show, before we went live, is the new drone regulations that are coming out and how that affects us as paramotor pilots. Can you tell us what you know about that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I only know a little bit, but I know that the FAA is trying to rewrite the rules to where effectively, as anybody FAR 103, but paramotors included, that we are the ones responsible for staying out of the way of these drones. And it's nothing like your little DJI things. They can be the size of Volkswagens doing 100 miles an hour down in altitudes where we like to fly. And, two-stroke motor spinning on our back, and we would have no idea they're coming up on us. The only thing that we do is have ADSBs, and that may be what they want us, what they want to require us to do, which would be pretty unfortunate. It could be upwards of a couple of grand per paramotor just to have an ADSB, and obviously add the weight of that unit, and who knows what else. That's really the only thing that I know of they're wanting to require, but yeah, it doesn't sound very good for us at the moment.
Does anybody in the chat know anything about the drone regulations and how that affects us? Let us know, and Jim or will take a look at it, and maybe we can figure this thing out, because that sounds pretty crazy to me. I know that the DJI and the consumer drones can't go higher than 400 feet legally. And Travis, what'd you say about these drones that are going to be that are big as a car? I mean, how high can they go?
Yeah, from what I know, it's just 500 feet. So another 100 feet, which, you know, I'm not sure how much difference that makes, but still, a lot of my flying is 500 feet and below. That's a lot of times where you can see the fun things, and it's something that most of us enjoy. I think the higher you go, the smaller things get and the less interesting they get. So having the freedom to do that is something we don't want to lose.
So that would be something that they would probably say that we need to fly 500 feet and above. Isn't that what you all do up in Canada, Jim? You have to be 500 feet when flying, or you can foot drag and all that stuff up there?
Yes, we can. We have to be 500 feet above buildings. And then if it's a town, we have to be 1,000 feet above that. We have to be able to glide past.
Okay, so you can still foot drag and all that stuff up there. It's just around buildings you have to be 500 feet and above.
Yes, exactly. Most definitely we can foot drag.
Oh,
And a bale slalom.
good deal. Okay. Anything in the chat that popped up about drone regs that we can bring up real quick, or nothing? Nobody said anything.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. The USPPA, I don't know if you've seen it, but they've sent out a posting. It's my understanding anyways that it's in committee, basically is going to make their recommendations, and they're going to have their second meeting coming up here soon. And we as a community individually have the opportunity to send an email with our concerns, stating our concerns to the specific email, which I'll put in the chat. And it's basically places, the responsibility is clearly on us as paramotor pilots to see and avoid these drones while 500 feet and below. So while we can have ADSB ADSB in, we can't have ADSB out. So, and it's my understanding, as far as the FAA is concerned, that they're not going to certify ADSB out portable units anytime soon. So it really is a big concern, and it's a huge call to action. So if you guys haven't sent the email yet, please do. The other thing is, Sean, they've got on the USPPA website, they've made it really easy. They've broken it down. They've given a summary of everything that's gone on and what's important to us as paramotor pilots, and what, the things that are the proposals that are being made. So I'll post that link as well if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, because this is something that we definitely need to figure out. It does affect everything. You would think that if there was going to be these drones that are big as a car that are delivering packages and stuff, you'd think that they would have, like cars, they have roadways, and airplanes, they have, skyways. And we kind of know where, the big airplanes are going to be and stuff like that. I wonder if they're going to do something like that with the drones, to where, in this area, this is where drones are going to be flying at 500 feet or so. I wonder we'll have that on the sectional charts. That'd be good, I guess. But I guess it's also like when you're out flying around under 500 feet, there's a lot of things that we have to look out for. Also, the crop dusters are a big thing over here. I mean, I'll be flying, just having a good time, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a crop duster goes up like this over the tree line, and there it is, right below me. I'm like, I didn't know that was coming. So I wonder if we're going to have that stuff too going on.
And you know how hard those are to see. I mean, they just pop up, right? And so just imagine a drone that you're supposed to see and avoid that's approaching you from behind or from the sun, where you're being blinded by the glare. So it's kind of spooky.
Yeah, it is.
Also, I'm being told that there won't be any requirement for them to have any sort of anti-collision devices, that it would be just that, completely on us to see and avoid them. And I mean, anybody that's flown with another paramotor knows you can have a paramotor pilot below you a couple hundred feet and it's hard to find their wing in the sky, let alone a little black drone flying at 100 miles an hour, So,
Well, you keep on saying 100 miles an hour. Are they really going to be flying at 100 miles an hour? Or are you just saying that they're just going to be fast?
Yes, just that they're going to be fast.
Okay.
Just pretty much anything.
They're hard
Anything
to
else
see.
other than us, right? It's going to be faster than we are. So
Exactly.
I've had birds fly right by me. I'm like, well, there you go. So anything else that you know about that, Travis, about the drones?
Really don't. That kind of came to my attention because of the USPPA stuff, and it's just been a topic of conversation that I've been hearing in the community.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll definitely.
I hope it works out in our favor, and not the other way around.
I think everybody probably needs to go over to the USPPA website and check it out. Get involved with this, and put your 2 cents worth in, especially if you're a paramotor pilot. There are some paramotor pilots that they take off and they get up to 1,000 feet and they just do cross country, and they don't want to do anything low and slow because they feel it's too dangerous. They do like altitude. Altitude is their friend. So I love to foot drag, so I know that a drone shouldn't skim me if I'm foot dragging the ground, I guess. I don't know. It just sounds horrible. Everything altogether. Having other flying things that are a lot faster than us that don't have a pilot and that don't have an anti-collision. They don't have anti-collision.
To include country homes where we fly.
What was that, Travis?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I heard you say something, or you're playing something. What was that?
Oh, no, I was just finding out actually that Amazon in particular may be delivering packages all over to people's homes with these drones. So there's no telling where they might go and what altitude they might be at. So that's about all I know about it. But
And Travis DuPont said the drones are going to be flying in heavily populated areas mostly. And for the most part, I agree with that. But that's just the opening of the Pandora's box, So before long, it's going to be more cost effective instead of sending the driver out to send a drone. I mean, I don't want anything. At the end of the day, the bottom line for me is I don't want anything that interferes with the sport that I love. And it's not just us, it's the entire ultralight community. It's the general aviation community. I mean, think about it. They share the same sky. So, and while they've got ADS-B in and out and all that stuff, well, accidents can still happen and there could still be malfunctions and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, you're talking about an aircraft that's got a human being on it versus an unmanned aircraft, So it'll be interesting to see how things unfold.
Yes, it will. Do we know when the drones are going to start flying, or are they already flying now?
No, they're in the committee stage, is what I understand.
Okay. So there hasn't been any, drones out there just doing tests, you think, or?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Hmm.
Yeah, I believe the technology's there and now they're asking for permission to use it. So,
I don't know. I keep on thinking that, if they are flying over towns and stuff, we're not going to be flying over towns. We're usually out, having fun someplace that, it's not populated. But, using the drones to get out to unpopulated areas would probably be extremely cost effective for Amazon and people that are going to use the drones.
Well, yeah, I live 5 minutes from a town. I mean, it's not a city, so it'll probably be a long time before it comes to my community, but 5 minutes out of town, that's a lot of free space where this drone could just be lost. I would never have any idea where it is.
Yeah, this is kind of scary. I don't know what's going to happen, but I guess we're going to find out. So make sure you guys go over to the USPPA website and check it out. Learn some more information. If you come up with some really interesting information that you think we need to talk about, email me at ppggrandpa@gmail.com, and we'll try to take this and continue to talk about this later on in future podcasts as things are unfolding. But anyways, back to Travis, and since we have talked about the cross countries, let's see how many cross countries you've done. You said the longest one you did was about 60 miles cross country. How was that, and how did you enjoy it?
yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly. That one in particular was, I was still on my first wing. It was kind of new to me, so it was a pretty long flight for me. We flew from our home airport out to a friend's pasture and back, and nothing crazy happened, but it was interesting to cover that much ground. I definitely felt like I had to keep on point on having a landing spot and knowing where I was, leaving myself a trail of landmarks to follow back, kind of thing. And then landing out that far, being able to get back in the air was a concern, which luckily I was able to do.
What kind of apps do you use when you do cross country flights, or just so you know where you are when you're flying?
And at that time, I wasn't using anything. We've got PPGPS and a couple others that we recommend to the students, but at that time, I wasn't using anything except just general dead reckoning, I guess, following light towers and water towers and stuff to get back. I had one of my instructors out in front, and his wing kept getting smaller and smaller. So he was on a faster wing than me. So I just kept heading in the right direction on the way back. It was a little nerve-wracking, actually, trying to get back. And finally, when I got up close to the water towers that said Shirts, where we were, where our airport is, I was pretty relieved. But it was a lot of fun overall. I felt like I accomplished something.
Any other cross countries that you would like to talk about? I mean, anything that was like, wow, this is like the coolest thing ever?
Yeah, we flew from a pasture over to a park. And that was about a 30-mile one-way trip, and got caught in a quick shower. That was pretty scary.
How much rain are we talking? A little sprinkle or something significant?
A short amount of significant rain, like a few minutes worth of hectic, expecting that I was about to have to land at any minute. And luckily, it went away. But it happened like right as we were about to land, and seeing the LZ and wondering if I was going to make it, even though it was only a couple of miles, was pretty scary.
So you were flying in really like a downfall. I mean, rain, like you were actually getting wet and your wing was getting wet, like soaked.
Yes.
Wow. So did the
Wouldn't
wing handle differently or what?
didn't ask it to do anything except to go straight and level, and it did that for me. So luckily that worked out. But for the most part, no, it responded the way it was supposed to. I was on a spider, ozone spider, and it was nice and stable. Did what I asked it to do. Fault for being in the rain wasn't a very smart idea.
Pretty interesting. Yeah, I recently a friend and I we were out flying and a freak rain started, but it was sprinkle. So I mean, my pants were like I could see the spots where they came down, but nothing significant. So you definitely beat me on that. Speaking about beating me on stuff, your first year that you were flying, you flew 300 hours. So what'd you do? You like got up in the morning and flew, you flew midday and then at night and then all weekend long. I mean, how do you get that many hours in?
Oh, no. 300 flights.
Oh, flights. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I don't think I could have racked up that many hours in 1 year, but definitely quite a bit. I logged up over 300 flights, and typically those flights were between 20 and 40 minutes, something like that. So reasonable amount of time, but I never logged it in time. I logged it in flights.
Okay. So do you still log your flights or now are you into hours or, what are you up to? Do you keep track of that anymore?
I can't lie and say I keep track of it that much anymore. I fly before students get to class and after they're done flying for the morning when the air starts to get a little more rowdy. When I have a chance is when I fly. And then of course in between classes it gets a little bit more flight time in, which is nice.
So what do you fly motor wise and wing wise and what size?
So my engine is a Moster. It's on a power to fly frame that my good friend Mark Perry gifted me. He saw me eyeballing it, and it was something that he was trading over to another frame or something like that. He knew that I wanted it and wanted to buy it from him, and just gifted me and gave it to me. So after that, I started building it up. I put an engine on it. I put a power comfort seat on it from Dudek, and now it's all put together, and that's what I fly. And went from a Spider to a Scirocco to a free ride. So I've been an ozone guy for most of my career. Flown other things, but that's what I settled on. And right now the size is either a 17 or a 19. There's both in the shop, so just kind of depends on the day and who's flying what. But I'll fly either a 19 or 17 free ride. I prefer the 17.
So what is your all up weight? You seem like you'd be a light guy flying a 17-meter wing.
Yeah, I'm about 190 with about a 65-pound motor, 70 maybe.
Oh, so your wing's really carved at a 17-meter wing. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, it'll roll around if you ask it to.
I bet it does. Any questions in the chat?
Got a question from Tony Marzano. He wants to know if you vape when you fly.
Great. No, I don't.
And you said something, so you went from a Spider to a Scirocco to a free ride. In particular, going from the Spider to the Scirocco, was that a good experience? Did you notice a major difference? And was that the Scirocco 3?
No, it was actually an original Scirocco, and yeah, huge difference. Much more challenging to kite, much faster. I could keep up with anybody, including the free rides. The Scirocco is a fast wing. It's not as twitchy and it doesn't like to roll as fast as the free ride does. But I actually flew a Scirocco 3 about a week ago, a friend of mine's wing, just to see it get under one again. And and it is super fast. And you'll scoot along the ground for a long way as you flare. You got a lot of flare authority. After that initial pressure, you skate along the ground for a long way. So it carries a lot of energy. It's good for cross country, I'm sure, more than the free ride is. I like the free ride because I like to go up and have fun.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
How about on the launches? The Scirocco.
The launches on the Scirocco gave me a little bit of a problem at first. I was used to just having no issues, and it took me a little time to learn that wing before I started getting consistent on my launches. Really easy to inflate, but it's not as easy to control once it's inflated. It likes to
You have to check it right away.
Yeah.
Does it come up super fast or?
Yeah, it comes up fast for sure. But if you just inflate it and go is less of a problem. Where I found the trouble was on reverses, trying to keep it stable while I made my turns was a little bit more of a challenge. I actually find the free ride easier in that respect. It's still challenging compared to a spider, but
Yeah, we were talking, I was talking to my buddy the other day, and it's getting harder and harder to find a not good wing. You know, I mean, the technology's getting to the point where, I mean, you're going to find a good wing pretty much. I mean, you got to find the right wing for you and at your point, whatever level of skill. But so, yeah, well, I'm at the stage where I'm going to change wings probably. So, yeah, all that stuff interests me, especially any information on a wing I've never flown.
yeah, that's what the fly-ins are the best for. You go to a fly-in, there's no shortage of folks that want you to try out their wings, and it's a good place to get a little experience on different wings.
Speaking about wings, what wings have you flown in your paramotor career?
So those three: Spider, Scirocco, Free Ride, Acto F3. I believe it was the F3. Flown Mac Para, Chargers and Colorados, APCO wings, and that's about it.
So you have lots of experience because you are over in Lone Star. You're able to use wings over there, and you go to different fly-ins. You said that you went to EFD and Bad Apples. Was there any other ones that you go to, or those are just your main ones that you go to?
Those are my main ones, and it's hard to find enough time in the year to take off from work to go to too much else. But yeah, switch it up and check out a few more. I hear there's a bunch more good ones out there.
Absolutely. So tell us about your day as an instructor. I mean, what does instructor over at Lone Star Paramotor, how does it start, and what happens throughout the day, and what do you do at the very end of the day? You just say goodbye, everybody, or do you have like a barbecue?
Yeah, a lot of times it turns into that kind of thing. So we typically start as soon as we can, especially if it's flyable or kiteable. If it's not flyable, we're still there as long as it's safe to kite. It all depends. First day is everybody's brand new, and we just want to put them under a glider right away and just get them used to how awkward that is right off the bat. And if it's flyable, everybody except one or two will be on the field kiting, and we'll be taking them up on tandems, just trying to get them into the air, get them used to that uncomfortableness of flying under a fabric wing. Most of them have never done it before. We get a few skydivers that are used to being under fabric, but other than that, it's really foreign to people, and I find a lot more people are scared of it before they fly, and then a minute into the flight, they're comfortable after that. So it's nice to be able to take them up on tandems. It's fun for me as well, get to see their reaction to flying. And then typically we are doing ground school for the middle of the day. We take a good couple hour lunch break. Other than that, we're doing ground school, and that lasts for about 6 to 7 of the 10 days. And usually by then everybody's flying, so we start meeting in the mornings and in the evenings to do either kiting or flying. And typically by then everybody's worn out, so got to keep them from getting so tired that they do something dangerous, hurt themselves or something like that. So
It's pretty hot in Texas, so you guys are up early in the morning. You do the school during the hottest part, I guess, and then in the afternoon you go out again still. So what are the temperatures like during the summertime, and how many people do you normally have in a class?
full class for us is 6, and yeah, right now is not so good. I jumped in my truck today. It was 107, and by the time I had gotten closer to here, it had only dropped a couple degrees. So it's been up over 100 for a while now, and pretty brutal. But we try to get into some air conditioning to do ground school if we can do that. And yeah, other than that, we're definitely there early in the morning and later in the evening trying to beat the heat.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly hot there, because over here we've been in triple digits and the heat index is just so bad that by 9 o'clock in the morning, definitely by 10, everyone is wore out and drenched. So I hear you. Do you have the heat indexes like southern countries or southern states like Arkansas, or do you have more of a dry heat? How does that work over in Texas?
Oh, definitely. They give us a heat index, and if there's any moisture around, it's always a few degrees hotter. But I think the actual temperature this afternoon was 105. So yeah, there's no way around it. It's pretty brutal, the heat of it.
Yeah, the heat index is horrible. My dogs always tell me it's rough.
Nice.
Anyway, any questions on the panel?
You got any questions, Jim?
Any questions in the chat?
The chat is how much, Tony Marzano wants to know, how much do you teach airspace?
Yeah, airspace is about a 3-hour plus class for us. Typically lasts from the morning, and then after lunch we'll go back and do some more of it. It's definitely one of the more challenging things to get across to people. It's just, you can't look at a sectional your first time and not be a little intimidated. So
that's the
got
hardest.
a big whiteboard that so full-size whiteboard that we permanently keep a big sketch of the 3-dimensional aspect of the upside down wedding cake and stuff like that. So they're looking at it the whole 10 days, wondering what it means, and then on airspace day we go into it in detail. And we still have customers and students regularly text us a picture of airspace wondering if they can fly, and we check it out with them and look through it and decide on an answer.
Does Lone Star, do they do PPG 1 through 3, or they do instructor training, or?
Yeah, we do that. It's kind of case by case basis when it comes to the instructor stuff. Typically our class is trying to ready somebody for a PPG 2 so that they're a competent solo pilot level.
I think Jim has a question for you too.
Yeah, Travis, I was wondering, you had mentioned earlier that you had got caught in the rain, and perhaps I didn't hear the answer to that, but I was just wondering, well, what kind of rain? Like how much rain, and how did it affect you?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, hard to say exactly how much because I was doing 25 miles an hour into it. No lightning, light winds, but a reasonable amount of rain coming down.
Like, were you soaked when you got down?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
And it
And how,
just because I was scared. I was definitely scared. I was right when I was landing. I was like, I'm either going to make it this next half mile to my LZ, or I'm going to land a half mile short, just because it's too scary.
yeah. And how did your wing react?
The wing was fine. It was soaking wet too, and water beating off of it, and it did no weird collapses, nothing weird on landing. It worked out fine. Not like I want to say that again, but yeah, everything worked out fine.
How would you know if it had gotten too wet?
Well, I don't really know the answer to that. Actually, I've never had a wing so wet in the air that it did anything weird, and I don't want to find out, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got caught in the rain the other day too, and I decided to go home right away and try and get out of it. But it was nothing serious. It was just a sprinkling. It was kind of like Sean had mentioned. But I'd really like to know how much rain it can take.
That's a very interesting question. Maybe we should ask that for all the people that are listening to this right now. If you are watching the show right now and you're in the super chat, let us know if you've ever been caught in the rain and how much rain, and did it affect your wing. Also, if you are listening to this after the live show on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast on your favorite podcasting app, just email me at ppggrandpa@gmail.com. Let me know if you were caught in the rain, if it had any effect, and how much rain accumulated in your cells. So yeah, Travis, was there any rain that accumulated in your cells? You had the Spider 3 at the time, is that correct?
It was an original Spider, and no, it didn't collect in the cells. It was kind of soaked. It was thoroughly wet, but not like I could pour water out of the wing or anything like that. And yeah, I feel like I was pushing it a little bit. I could see the LZ when it started to rain on us, so I wanted to push through, and maybe should have just landed. I had a huge field underneath me. And I don't know. I'm okay. I walked away from it, but maybe didn't make the right call. You never know.
I assume that you still had plenty of visibility, so it wasn't like, it just, it just came from the sky, but you still had plenty of visibility, and it wasn't like a downpour when you're driving. It's like a whiteout for, when you're driving. It was just kind of heavy. You could still see, and it just soaked you.
Yeah, it was that way. And yeah, not something I would want to repeat, but definitely one of the crazier things I've had happen to me in the air.
I guess that's the next thing that we need to do is go up there in a rainstorm with a bunch of cameras all over and see what happens to our wing, right?
No, don't do that. I do.
Absolutely. Do not fly in the rain. Please do not do that. Any other questions in the chat?
Joshua Marsh was saying he was caught in storm, but didn't get that much rain, and it was scary to him. So I can understand that. And then Hot Buttered Productions is, why is he so much cooler than Rain, and what does she need to do to step up her game?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Why are you so much cooler than Rain, and what does Rain have to do to step up her game?
Let me guess, that came from Minty.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
I'm gonna scoot over for this.
What was that?
Menti.
I misheard that. Can you repeat that?
Why is Travis so much cooler than Rain? And what does she need to do to step up her game?
Probably
I don't
get more
know.
flight hours in, but I'm pretty cool.
Minty's just asking for it, that's all.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
And what fly-ins are you going to this year, and or Lone Star?
The next one that I know of for sure is EFD. We try not to miss that one. It's one of our favorites. Other than that, I don't know of any on the schedule on paper, but we like to get out, hang out with the pair of folks. It's at least half the fun, maybe more. You know.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite place to take your students to eat for lunch?
Oh, loaded question. So yeah, we've got a tradition. First day, we always go to this local cafe called Grumpy's Mexican Restaurant. We always make everybody pose out in front and take a big picture. But yeah, it's a good place.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to hang with you guys and eat there too. So
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, absolutely. Come back.
I want to go back.
Yeah,
It's right there. It was warm. Holy smokes, it was warm.
Oh man, yeah, it's warm most of the year here, unfortunately.
All right. Any other questions in the chat or any other questions from the panel right now?
Yeah, I got a question, just talking about summer and the storms and everything. In the South, living in the Southwest forever, whatever, you always had, all the pop-up storms and the microbursts and all that. And Texas is just, you guys have been getting it hard, and so it's been Arizona. But I was just wondering, how do you, because they come in so quick, so you're out there flying, and then all of a sudden, that wind, you see that wind gusts or even the lightning coming in. That's scary, because you don't know really sometimes what time of the day to fly, right? The weather, thinking, oh, we'll be fine. Then you get up there, and then here you are, So I was just wondering how you guys figured that out.
Well, yeah, I mean, for one thing, we're pretty strict as a school about flying early morning and later in the evening, and so that limits our time frames. And then from there, we're constantly. I mean, we've got anywhere from 3 to 6 instructors on the field at any given time, and we're constantly monitoring the field and weather apps, and we don't get any. I mean, I've never seen any weird lightning storm that wasn't associated with, a rainstorm that we could see coming from a long way away. The worry is big thunderstorms that are outside of our site that could be sending microbursts our way. So I think we rely pretty heavy on radar for that. But if we get one windsock telling us one thing and the other pointing the other way, and we start feeling some cool air, that's definitely something that we look out for.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, we're monitoring lots of weather apps, all day pretty much. At the end of our morning session, we look at the apps again and decide if we are going to try to fly in the evening, and we show up, and if it's not good, we don't fly. So.
Okay, so what apps do you use? Which ones do you prefer, and which ones do you think are the best for paramotor pilots to check out if they haven't already?
So yeah, for one thing, I think that's fairly regional. So some of the apps that I use have not worked for me in other places, is what I mean by that. But just in general, we use Windfinder a lot. We use Dark Sky. Windfinder is good for wind and gusts. And we use Dark Sky. Dark Sky is a radar app that seems pretty accurate for us. We use Windy, Wind Alert, AccuWeather, UAV Forecast is a pretty good one. One of the ones that we use the most that's not an app, that's only available as a website, is a balloonist's site called ryancarlton.com. And it's pretty detailed at altitude. So every altitude will tell you the wind direction, the temperature of the air, and that's pretty much what we go on. So we're looking at multiples of those apps, one after the other, before we make a decision to fly.
Well, I got one more for you to put in your quill of apps. It's called Ventusky, and that gives you winds aloft at different times. That's a pretty good one, kind of like Ryan Carlton, but it's an app.
Cool.
Anybody else on the panel use something other than what Travis was telling us about, what he uses?
No,
How do you spell Ventusky?
Ventusky.
Into sky. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. It's kind of like Ryan Carlton, but visual. Ryan Carlton just shows your knots and your magnetic headings in different times like that. So you got to know your magnetic headings. You got to understand the knots, and it will put like at different altitudes. If there is like a wind shear, it will have it in yellow, so you can actually visually see that. But the Ventusky is pretty good. Also, too, the people that make the UAV forecast also makes other ones like is it nice outside? Is it nice to walk outside, and is it sunny, and just different apps. So you go to the UAV forecast. I can't remember what they all are offhand, but if you got the UAV forecast, you'd have to pay for the things that are free on the other ones that they give away for free.
Okay.
So look at the UAV forecast on your app store, then go to the company or the people that make it to see the other apps, and then download those. So it's really good, very intuitive. Some of them are very usable, but the UAV forecast is very good. Anything else, or was that it?
Well, Tony was asking about the airspace apps, and B24 suggested AirMate and Before You Fly. I'm familiar with Before You Fly. I think that's a drone app, but it performs the same function. So, and they're both available on the iPhone. I'm not sure about Android.
Can you spell that Before You Fly? Is it a U or is it YOU?
Now, B, the letter B, the number 4, the letter U, and then fly, all one word, FLY.
Thank you. And what did you say the other one was?
The other one is called AirMate, all one word, AIRMATE. I just downloaded that myself, and check it out.
I'm glad that we're talking about apps right now, because there are some really good apps. I just learned recently about Gaggle, which is really neat. But what other? Let's go ahead and go back to the airspace apps. What airspace apps do you guys suggest for your students and other pilots? You said the PPGPS, which I like. They got the light version.
Yeah.
I got the paid version, because the one thing I like about the PPGPS is that it actually has your gas right there. You put in what you burn, your burn rate and how much you put in the tank, and it'll actually show you as you're using your gas approximately how much you have left. So that's pretty cool. What else do you use, bud?
Yeah, and the other one, I really only know of those two, is that one, and Fly Sky High is another good one that we recommend. But I'm sure there's a bunch that are good to use. Those are just the two that I know of readily.
Will, do you know any other airspace ones? I know that we have the Sky Vector for sectional charts, but do you have any apps that you use other than the PPGPS and Fly Sky High?
what I use is airnav.com. It's a website, and it will, anything you want to know about a particular airport or area can be found on there. Can I share my screen for a second?
Please. Absolutely.
All right. Share screen. And, oh, they added something. There we go. All right. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So I just typed in 0 Alpha 7, which is a Hendersonville airport. There's the map of it. But if you look down, I mean, right here, there's the sectional chart that you can click on and drag and move around. I mean, so it's super handy to have. I use this on my phone as well. I don't know if AirNav has an app. That's a real good question. But I mean, you can zoom in, and it's just an awesome tool that I found. And it'll also give you information on like TFRs, any kind of restrictions in the areas. It's a good tool, especially if I'm flying in an area that's unfamiliar.
That's a good thing you just mentioned, the TFR. Is there any other way that you check for TFR or NOTAMs, which is not notice to airmen, is notice to air missions now?
Yeah, it's notice to airmen to me. I'll never, ever, ever remember calling it anything else.
I know, it's crazy.
It's just a force of habit. This is what I would use for that. I would use the, I can see if I can go back here. I don't know if it'll allow me to go back, and I don't want to mess it up. So there's just, adding to what everyone else has said. I mean, there are no shortages of good tools out there. You just have to find, the one that kind of fits your lifestyle.
Exactly. Since you're sharing your screen, don't go anywhere. Go ahead and type in tfr.faa.gov. This is what I use on my phone, and it shows you right there where, what state, the time, the dates, and you can actually hit the zoom on the far right and actually see where it is.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's something that I use personally. And I also, when I go there, I take a screenshot of it before I go for a flight, because what would happen if I was out for a 2-hour flight and the president decided to swing over my state and where I'm flying, and I didn't see that TFR, and I landed and there's some FAA guys there, I can look. I screenshotted this, it's time stamped. I looked, there wasn't any TFR, so maybe that would help me out. So there's something you guys might want to do too, is screenshot that you did check the tfr.faa.gov.
Oh, that's a nice tool. So let's say, okay, so that's for the center. This is for the state. So you can sort by state or whatever, I guess. All right, Arkansas.
That's definitely something we tell guys, students that are wondering about that kind of things. Not always a lot of police activity when you launch, but sometimes there is when you land. It's nice to prove that you're doing things right.
Not just saying hello to you either, are they?
Most of the time they've been friendly.
Right.
Yeah. So as far as, like you said, that your airspace, when you do your airspace, you talk about a lot of the sectional charts and stuff too. Do you talk about cloud clearance and all that?
Absolutely. Cloud clearances in all the different airspaces that we're allowed in. So 5321 rule and stuff like that.
So a lot of people, they think, okay, I'm going to go ahead and look online. It looks easy to fly, and I'm going to buy my stuff on eBay. I'm going to attempt to fly myself without going to a school. It's not just flying, right? I mean, your school is not 10 days just learning to fly. There's a lot of things that you need to know as a pilot like airspace, looking at sectional charts, making sure that that particular day there's no NOTAMs. So in your opinion, Travis, it's probably okay and easy to learn how to fly, but that's just a small part of learning how to fly. Is that correct?
It is, and even just the flying, there's so many little nuances to it that can either keep you safe or get you hurt just in learning to fly. And I'm really glad that I didn't just find this online and try to teach myself to fly or try to learn what gear would be safe for me or anything like that. I'm really glad I didn't do that because I would have gotten hurt. I like to do extreme sports. I've always been into biking and skating and all kinds of boarding, and I'm glad I didn't teach myself how to do this. But other than that, yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, airspace is definitely huge, just as far as keeping away from things that fly faster than you or heavier than you. But the whole thing is just about safety. Like the reason we train people is all about keeping them safe and keeping them from doing something that could get them killed, not just potentially hurt. You could always hurt your ankle on landing or something like that, but really getting injured is a possibility that is highly diminished if you do things right and go by the book. And that's what we try to teach. I mean, really, 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening is not a whole lot of the day. And we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't use the rest of that time to not just teach airspace and glider control and the way things work physically, but we're showing you small details, small things that could become big things, how to clear brake lines in flight, or how to something as simple as getting in your seat. If you try to get into your seat while pulling on the brakes, you could stall your glider. There's a lot of little things that could get you hurt if you don't have somebody to show you what to do. And all of these things are going through your head at once, and you have to do all of them right on your very first flight, or you could get hurt. So.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos where people say, I'm teaching myself how to fly, and they break props, they have the wrong gear and 10-year-old wings and stuff like that, and they can never get up. And by the time that they're done, even if they get a flight in, they're like, okay, I'm done with this is scary, and I break too many props, and this gear is horrible. I mean, I can't imagine not having an instructor.
I love that statement. You don't know what you don't know. And what you don't know is going to kill you.
Exactly, yeah. If you don't even know the right questions to ask. I see on the forums and stuff on Facebook or on the groups, and people asking, it's like, what wing do I need? I'm this heavy, what wing do I need, and what
wings without a complete understanding.
What's that, Travis? Were you saying something?
I wasn't, sorry.
Okay. So yeah, anyway, there's a lot to it. You don't go to a 10-day class and just learn how to fly. There's a lot of stuff that you need to learn. I was over at Lone Star, and their book for students, not even the PPG Bible, their own book that they put together for the students is thick. It's massive. There's a lot of learning there.
Yeah, so that book that you're talking about is the USPPA syllabus expanded the way we interpret it and the way in our wording and things like that. But it's, I definitely believe in that syllabus and what it teaches, but we take that and we reference it with the PPG Bible, and we reference it with lots of videos, and real world examples of what has gone wrong and what to do to fix it. And, having a healthy respect for the things that can go wrong is a pretty good teaching tool to get you to do it right. You see somebody stall a glider to the point of being gift wrapped, make you not want to pull those brakes too hard, So there's a lot of little things that go into it, and I like the 10-day training and also coming back and getting additional just confidence with your instructors idea, just because there's so much to learn that it's easy to listen to it and just glance past it, or just plain forget it because you're so preoccupied trying to keep yourself safe that it's nice to be retold things sometimes.
So let's say somebody wants to go over to Lone Star and sign up for a class. How do we sign up for a class, and when do they start? I assume that they're all 10-day classes. Do you guys do trike also? Tell us a little bit about your school.
Yeah, so we typically do one class a month, and all the other times during that month, we're typically helping other students either with confidence builder training, or could be anything. Could be helping them put their motors together and hang tests and stuff like that. But our standard class is a 10-day class that we do once a month, and we can do trike and foot launch in the same class usually. It's obviously different, and we do our ground schools together, and then when we get to the trikes, we kind of separate on the field into foot launchers and trikers. But that's kind of the time schedule. We're typically booked out a few months in advance, sometimes more if it's one of the prime times of year, like spring and fall. Those times typically fill up quicker. But we're pretty much scheduled with 6 students most of the time, and that's the size class that we can give everybody the attention that they need. We have enough instructors to do that, and keep everybody out there with an instructor and not just trying to remember what they learned. Lone Star, we have our website is typically the best way to get a hold of us. It'll lead you to Ron, and he'll talk with you and get you into the right class for the time period that works for you.
For the people that are listening to the podcast later on after this that are not watching, can you tell us the website to go to?
Yeah, LoneStarParamotor.com. And just click on the link that leads you to filling out your information, and we'll get in touch with you. And you can also get in touch with us.
So we can pay online and get booked online, or do we have to call and talk to someone physically, or can we just do everything online?
Online, you'll give us all your information, who you are, where you're coming from, things like that. And we typically want to chit chat with you a little bit before we book you into any particular class.
Awesome. Do you guys have a phone number that somebody might, or maybe they're driving, listening to this, and they are going to pull over safely and write down the phone number? Is there a phone number that you have to call for people that still use phones?
We do. Hold on one second. I'm getting it right now. Sorry, I'm trying to get it right now.
That's all right. I half the time don't remember my own phone number.
They're all just in my phone. I gotta get it. All right, so the phone number for Lone Star for the person you need to talk to is Ron Turan at 512-431-0173.
Awesome. Now you have some of your instructors there with you?
I do. I got a little team of my friends here with me.
Well, bring them on and introduce them, and let's say hi. We're after 10 or we're after 8 o'clock, so bring them on and let's say hello to everybody.
All right.
So who do we got over here?
All right. This is Rain. This is Mark Perry. I'm sure you guys know Ron Terrell.
Hey guys.
Hey there.
What's up?
So this
that's-
is part of the team, most of the team.
Well, since we have you all here on camera, does anybody have any questions for the crew over at Lone Star Paramotor? If you do, put them in the chat. Do you guys on the panel have any questions for the crew over at Lone Star? Other than they're incredibly awesome, and I love them all to death.
Yeah, I got a question. Oh, go ahead, Jim.
Well, I was wondering about this police information that you pass on to the students. What types of situations have you guys had to deal with the police? And what types of information do you pass on to the students?
Yeah, sometimes we fly and neighbors see us going down over a line of trees. They'll call the police or call 911. The police will show up to ask where the bodies are. And
Oh no!
we assure them that we're all accounted for, but other times it's just flying over someone's property, and they'll call they'll call the police to say that we're disturbing them, and the police will show up and we'll explain to them that we're in an uncongested area and we have every right to fly there, but we'll happily avoid that person's property if they'd like us to.
It's a felony to disturb a hunt. Is that in Texas?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, occasionally we get the game warden if a paramotor is flying low and interrupts a hunt.
Foot dragging past deer blinds.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
not during hunting season, not in Texas.
Yeah, we definitely get on Facebook and let everybody know when dove season opens. We got a lot of guys on the sides of pastures with shotguns.
Yeah. What's your typical class look like? I mean, like, is it like 50% men, women, younger, older? I mean,
Yeah, mostly guys. 40 to 50 is typically the age, although Tucker's been bringing in a lot younger guys. But we have a lot of women we've been training lately, one in every class, one in every other class. So, and part of that is due to Rain coming in here and inspiring others.
right on.
Any other questions? Did anybody say anything in the chat?
They did not. Someone said Ron was a
The
cool
answer is
dude,
no, Steve.
Yeah, Steve, it's no for Rain, it's no
No.
for Travis. It's a hard no for me.
Heard Bill H was in the chat. Is he still around? What's up, Bill?
He
Hey,
is.
Jay. Hey, Mickey. Hey,
Yeah,
Bob. Hey,
hello all.
Tommy. Hey, everyone.
Got a lot of people in the chat. That's awesome. If you guys are still in the chat and you love Lone Star, give us a thumbs up because that always helps. You guys are awesome. I love you guys over there. Travis, you are awesome, amazing guest. Any other words of wisdom that you want to say to everyone that's out there, other than please come to Lone Star Paramotor and train with us?
Definitely do that. But I mean, it really is just all about keeping people safe. So fly safe is what I want you to do. Other than that, come hang out with us at fly-ins and enjoy your time in the air.
Just come down and fly with us in Texas.
Flying the ice cream in the community is the cherry on top.
Yeah. Right on.
That needs to be a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Probably will.
Okay, we'll add that.
Got that.
You guys got a cool logo too. I like that.
Oh, thanks.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was very lucky. I was able to go down there and say hi to the crew. We went out to eat, and their facility is absolutely, it's huge. It's it's just really awesome. The people are just amazing over at Lone Star. So definitely 2 thumbs up for you guys.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I'm blessed to be surrounded by some incredible instructors. These 3 and many more there too.
We just follow the lead, Bob.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So what we'll do now, guys, is how long can you hang with us? Can you hang with us for about 15 more minutes?
Yeah, I can. Sure.
All right. So what we'll do is we will let anybody that wants to join us here on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, ClearProp TV, and paratalk.org. Let me go ahead and get that information off of Zoom and let you guys jump in if you want to. It's always fun to jump in and hang with us. We will still be live. So if you jump in, don't think that, the world is not going to hear you. The world will hear you.
For a thumbnail.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So all you guys at Lone Star, jump back in. We're going to do a quick thumbnail.
Restroom break going.
It'll be just a minute. Restroom break's going down.
Oh, okay. Then
Sure.
we'll wait a couple more minutes. Let me go ahead and get that information for you guys, and I'll put it
Got a
in the
question
chat.
here if you want me to
Okay.
ask.
Sure. go ahead.
Let's see. Jade's asking for Ron. Did you get plane tickets for EAA? Do you have a place to stay with the family?
Ron's out right now.
Well, that was for Ron. Okay, well, we'll have to remember to ask him. Mickey Alberto says, best training at Lone Star, hands down, the best. And same guy, see, same thing.
Thanks, Mickey.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so I posted the link. So if you have Zoom on your computer or phone, you can just click the link and that should bring you directly to us. You will go to a waiting room and I will let you in. Or you can just put in the meeting ID and passcode into your Zoom app, or if you're on the computer, same thing. And join us, hang out with us for the next 15 minutes or so. Talk with Travis and the crew over at Lone Star. Talk to the folks over here, the panel, and everybody on ClearProp TV. So ready for a thumbnail? Will?
You ready?
I'm
Here
ready.
we go.
Okay, good. I'll look up there then.
I got it.
Ah,
Right
whew. Ah,
on.
had
Good breathe.
to hold my breath for that one. Awesome. You said there was a question in the chat.
Got it. Oh, well, for Ron, yeah.
Okay.
Did you get plane tickets for EAA? You have a place to stay with the family from Jade.
Say it again.
Did you get tickets? Are you going to EAA?
We were going to exhibit there. We decided to postpone that till next year.
Right on.
I appreciate the offer.
Yeah.
We've got a rare 5 weeks between classes, so we're going to go somewhere fun and fly.
You guys get to go to fly-ins, and if you do, what fly-ins are you guys going to go to in the future here?
Yeah, we go to EFD every year. We go to Bad Apples every year. We've occasionally exhibited it at Oshkosh. Those are the main ones that we've been to. We really haven't been out west, Salton Sea or Flying Circus. But yeah, we like to go. We decided we're going to go on a paramotor adventure every year. I just got back from a trip flying to Egypt. And we're going to go on a Lone Star trip every year, just not sure where we're going next year.
Oh, tell us about Egypt trip. I bet that was amazing.
It was incredible. We went through a company called Sky One, and they had permission to fly for 3 days around the pyramids. So the motors were there and wings waiting for us, and it was an incredible trip.
Rainer, Travis, you been on one of these adventures yet?
No, I haven't invited them. Sorry, I just came back from the first one. Sorry.
Next year.
Next year.
It's got to be
yeah.
hard to beat Egypt. I mean, something like Egypt. I couldn't imagine. I mean,
Yeah. Where do you guys want to go?
Well, we love beach flying. Beach flying is always a blast. Egypt's definitely on my bucket list. This last year was my first time going to a fly-in, particularly Bad Apples, and last year was endless foot drag in Kansas. Looking forward to that. This will be my second time going there in September, so that'll be fun. The Sky family is really fun as well. Just getting to hang out after flying. Mostly it's just hanging out a bunch and like goofing off and getting drunk.
No, I got a bug to go to Alaska. I want to go to Costa Rica, Alaska.
Yeah, we just finished training a couple of guys from Alaska that have invited us up there, but it's a long drive.
Yeah.
It's a long flight.
Yeah, just fly your paramotor up there. Make it a big Icarus race.
Yeah, huge Icarus race.
Yeah, we can stop here.
So
Skirt Canada since I don't have a license.
Well, I mean, you got to go through Canada if you're going to fly there.
there's a little bit of open water, but I
I was
wouldn't
going
want
to
to do
say,
that.
just skirt the coast a little bit.
Yeah. I
Make
think
sure
you
you-
have 15 miles offshore or something like that to be an international.
Right.
Honestly, every time I go to a fly-in, I pass so many places that I want to stop and fly that it's hard to make it very far.
Absolutely. Now, in the future, will your students be able to go on these amazing exotic trips like Egypt and stuff?
Yeah. Looking to bring students along for paramotor adventures. Also looking to do maybe a Lone Star reunion flying every year, just for past students.
Wow. So unless we're a Lone Star student, we won't be able to go with you. So we're going to
You're right. You'll have to come down and train with us.
yeah, so it's time to, we need to just go over to Lone Star, train with these amazing people and go on these awesome adventures.
There you go.
Hey, do you guys plan on doing an Icarus race by any chance?
I don't know. That's not my thing. Going in a straight line for hours and hours on end. I don't know. What about you guys?
A
That
couple of
interest
people
you?
that are interested.
Yeah.
Maybe Coco.
Yeah. A couple of our other instructors.
I'm kind of with Ron on that. I prefer a little bit shorter flights than that.
A little bit shorter flights.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
talking about that 60 miles in the air, and that was a long trip. You know,
How long was that trip, Travis?
3 hours.
Wow.
Close to it.
Yeah.
I know my shoulders were killing me at the end of it.
Yeah, mine too. The last 15 minutes that got sketchy, really.
Interesting.
You had your reserves.
Yeah, that's true.
Swatting that reserve pouch with the right hand.
Well, that sounds really interesting. Anything else going on at Lone Star Paramotor that maybe a future student might go, I want to go there because, so what else you got going on over there that maybe a student would want to?
Yeah, we train about 10 pilots a month, 6 in our beginner classes, and between classes we retrain students from other instructors. We're doing a bunch of that lately. We've had some super students come through recently, really trained. But we give tandem flights also. So
I don't know if you want to mention our new gadget.
Can't hear you. What were we saying?
yeah, not yet.
We have a special surprise for everyone that we can't mention yet.
Yeah, we're
It's a new toy.
we're waiting to get a virtual reality simulator that's been around at Oshkosh and a couple of other fly-ins. The one that was at the Bad Apples this past year, so that'll be kind of fun.
So how about pilots that have already been flying for a while? Can they come down there and check out your new virtual reality stuff when it comes up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And
We also do like 3-day confidence builder courses and things like that. Day instruction as well.
Okay, so pilots that have been flying for a while, they can come there and take different classes like the confidence builders. What else you have for already accomplished pilots?
Trike transition classes. Folks who already fly foot launch and they want to transition over to trike, which is quite a bit different.
Exactly.
Students that are, that were pilots maybe a year or more ago that are just there to rebuild skills that they had before and maybe kick out old bad habits.
I didn't even think about that. Do you guys do anything like SIVs or anything like that?
No, up until now we haven't.
Is that something that might happen in the future, or are you just going to stick with regular foot launch and trikes?
I think we're going to stick with regular foot launch. We'll be doing some intermediate or advanced courses, but I don't think we'll be going full SIV, although there's probably that coming in our area fairly soon.
Yeah.
So there's intermediate and advanced courses. What are those, and who can take those? Anybody?
Yeah, we actually haven't had any yet. So just in the planning stages. We also want to do some mechanic classes, carb rebuild classes, reserve repacking clinics, things like that.
Oh, that's awesome. I love those extra fun classes like that and
Yeah.
clinics. Well, that's really awesome. So once again, how do we get up with you guys if we want to go to Lone Star Paramotor in Texas?
You can go to the website, lonestarparamotor.com. The new website comes online in about 2 weeks. Or you can give me a call at the number that Travis gave earlier.
Okay, could you say that number one more time, Travis? You got that memorized now, right?
No.
It's 512-431-0173.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well,
Also
thank you so
check us
much.
out on social media, by the way.
Thank you.
We have TikTok, YouTube,
Instagram.
Facebook.
Well, how do we find you on all these social
at-
medias?
Add Lone Star Paramotor.
And that's for all of them.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Here's-
Well, you guys have been amazing. Travis, thank you so much for joining us and the rest of the crew over at Lone Star Paramotor. Definitely enjoyed this podcast and interview. Any other questions in the chat or on the panel before we close everything out?
The answer is still no, Steve.
Uh-oh. Steve, it's just
Yeah, no question.
It's definitely no, Steve. I don't even know the question, but no.
No question, but I want to say you've all been fantastic guests. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on the show. I'm glad I had my team here to back me up.
Absolutely. It's always good to have a team.
Thank you, Travis.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for bringing the team on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm glad I was able to.
Lots of good information. You guys make sure you check out Lone Star Paramotor. I don't have that number. I didn't write it down, but just rewind and listen to it again and give them a call or go over to the Lone Star Paramotor. My name is Sean Simons, PPG Grandpa. You can find us here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you don't get us live, you can always go over and check out paratalk.org or just search for PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast on your favorite podcasting app. So let's go ahead and say goodbye to everybody real quick. We'll fly.
Yeah.
Goodbye. No. Will Fly, he does amazing videos. Tell us real quick about your amazing videos and how to find them.
Yeah, I just like flying paramotors and making videos about them. If you like corny humor, check out willflyppg.com, or you can find me on YouTube. Search for Will Fly.
And if you haven't done so already, please go there, check it out, hit that subscribe and that bell notification. Really awesome. Thanks again, Will, for all the stuff that you do for the show. We definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
We also have Jim from Canada. He's also one of he's our sponsor that actually makes our stickers and our calendars and all that fun stuff. So Jim, tell us a little bit about your company and how we can get up with you and get our stickers and decals and all that fun stuff from Canada, eh?
Sure. Well, I just set up a landing page for my website. It's careppe.com. And you can, if you want to do it yourself printing, you can do it from that site. You can click on the button, it'll take you right there. You can do the graphic design, you can do it all. Click print and it'll go right to you. And so that's careppe.com. And if you want custom printing, click on that and it'll connect you with us and we'll get something specific to your needs printed. And if you want to watch my YouTube stupidity, that you can access it there too.
And that's over at careppg.com.
You betcha.
What flight are you up to real quick? I forgot to ask you this morning. 150?
Yes.
All right.
Congratulations, buddy. That's awesome.
Congrats. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And thank you, Jim, very much for all the support that you've done for the show and, of course, for the community. Definitely appreciate you. We also got Linda Anderson. She's our PR girl. If you want to be on the show, get up with Linda by going to paramomusa.com. But she also has a famous son that does a podcast on Thursdays. Tell us a little bit about that.
We got paraglidingtalk.com on Thursday nights with my awesomest son, Robert Michael. And he's back for vacation, so there will be a show on Thursday. So y'all come and join us in the chat and all that good stuff. Love to have you. And yeah, if you want to be a guest on the show, just send me a message and we'll get you all set up.
Yeah, I think that we're already booked into what, September?
Pretty much.
Yeah, we're booked. So if you want to be on the show, you better get up with Linda Anderson by going over to Paramount USA.
Yeah, very quick. That's right. Because once I get on that, pull that calendar out, that's it. I don't stop until that month is full.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for everything you do, Linda. I mean, without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this show. And without my amazing guest, Travis Landry, I would not be able to do the show. And he is an instructor over at Lone Star Paramotor over in Texas. So make sure you guys check that out. Let me go ahead and spotlight you guys real quick. Tell us your names, what you do, and any .coms. I mean, here's your 5 minutes of fame. Everyone's going to be listening to this. You'll be able to go to your YouTube and Snapchats and all that stuff. What you guys got?
Hey, I'm Rain. I'm with Lone Star Paramotor. I'm an instructor there in the heart of Texas. And you can find us on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Lone Star Paramotor. I'm on there under Sky Surfer Rain. You feel free to follow us, like, comment, and subscribe. Just kidding. But come fly with us if you're in the area. Come say hi.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well done. Better than me. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. My name's Travis Landry, and I'm one of Ron's instructors, and been loving doing that for about 3 years now. So it's definitely my favorite thing to do, and being a part of this it's been huge for me in many ways. So I appreciate you having me on the show.
Definitely our pleasure.
And I'm Ron. I'm the owner, and I pay the bills.
And one of the nicest guys,
and
one of the nicest guys
doing
you'll
it.
ever meet.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Very, very humble, down to earth, and you meet him, for 5 minutes, you're like, you know what, this is going to be one of my best friends for life. I mean, really great guy, Ron. Absolutely. Travis is amazing. Rain's amazing. Everyone over at Lone Star is amazing. Definitely appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. And you guys are amazing. We love y'all.
Thanks so much. Good night.
Absolutely. Y'all have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you very much. Don't forget tomorrow what's that, Will? Will, you're on mute. I don't know what you're saying.
I was saying, you got it, man. That's it.
Oh.
Tomorrow.
That's right. So we do have a show tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us real quick about that, bud.
Just go to YouTube, search for Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane, and you'll find us tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Awesome. I think that you can still go to ppgshane.com and go straight to it.
That would be so much easier.
Absolutely. And Jade, are you doing a show too on Wednesday? I'm sure there's a lag. Yeah, she's going to probably do a show on Wednesday. Go to paramotorgirl.com and check that out. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Good night.
You guys don't go nowhere. I'm just going to close this out. I'm going to say hi to you real quick after we're done doing this. So